Los Angeles rocked by a massive hotel worker strike, and Sarawak grants 10 million ringgit uplifts Chinese private schools. These are the headlines for tonight. I'm Lorenzo Isaac and you're watching TVS Nightline. An explosion tore through a building in downtown Tokyo, scattering debris across a busy intersection and sending smoke into the air. The fire, according to a local news agency report, was soon contained, with only 4 individuals inflicted from the incident.
The cause remains unknown, but witnesses report smelling gas and observing flames through the windows of the shattered second floor of the building.
ちょうど仕込み中で2時半頃お店に入ったんですけど、2時40分頃に大きな爆発音がして、で外出たら家具とかガラス片が散乱していて、で上見たら煙が上がってたって形になります。
The incidents occurred in a close proximity to a bustling railway station, known for its array of bars and restaurants that are popular among office workers.
飲食店多いですからね、うちもガスも扱いますし、ちょっと気をつけないと、改めてそう思いますけどね、危ない、怖いですよね。
いつも人が大勢いる場所なので、大丈夫だったのかなっていう心配と、ただただびっくりしてるんですけど、はい。そうですね。今どういう状況かまだ詳しくはわからないと思うんですけど、無事だといいなと思って見てました。
Thousands of hotel workers in Los Angeles, California have taken a stand by commencing a widespread strike, demanding improved wages and benefits. This labor action is anticipated to go down in history as one of the largest hotel strikes witnessed in recent times across the United States. The strike, which encompasses a significant number of hotels throughout Los Angeles, reflects the determination and unity of the workers as they advocate for fair compensation and improved working conditions. The employees, representing various roles within the hospitality industry, including cooks, room attendants, dishwashers, servers, bellmen, and front desk agents, were facing challenges in affording housing in the cities where they work. They also experienced job cuts during the COVID-19 pandemic while witnessing soaring industry profits. The strike affected various hotels in the region, such as the Intercontinental and Hotel Indigo, during a busy weekend leading up to the July 4th holiday. Sarawak Premier Dato' Paninggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg today presented a 10 million ringgit education to Sarawak United Association of Private Chinese Secondary School Management Board, represented by its chairman, Temenggung Dato' Vincent Lau Lee Ming. This is the 10th allocation since 2014 to uplift the financial burden of 14 independent Chinese secondary schools in the state.
Since 2014, the Sarawak government has provided financial assistance of 72 million ringgit to the ICSS on an annual basis. Lau applauded the ongoing grants as evidence of the Sarawak government's equal treatment for various types of schools. Speaking to the reporter after the grant presentation at Wisma Bapa Malaysia earlier today, he said the ICSS operated with the support of the community by collecting minimal fees from the students. However, such practice wasn't enough to manage the expenses of the school administration.
With the grant from the Sarawak government, 10 million for the 14 Chinese independent school, it will help Russia to lighten the burden of the school and running of the school, particularly the smaller, Chinese school, Chinese independent school where the student number is only 100 plus, 200 plus, or 300.
Local councillors play a role as a driving engine of the directions and policies of the government. As such, the Deputy Premier Sarawak, Dato' Sri Dr. Sim Kui Hian, called upon councillors to embrace adopting environmental sustainability initiatives in tandem with the state's urbanization process.
Councillors play a very important role, as I emphasized earlier on and also mentioned by our PS, that you are the driving engine. You are the driving force behind the success of any council. You formulate policies, you decide what you think is best for your own council, and has been mentioned during the engagement session, you ought to have your master plan, which I think is extremely important, and if you don't, then you must look into it. Because whatever you do from now on, if you do not have any proper planning, I think it will be very difficult for you to secure any funding, particularly from the federal government. Also, you are also the frontliners, mentioned many times. Anything under the sun and the moon, you do it, and any blame goes to you. Even though I have also emphasized on the need to go green, and I think this is one area that we must explore and must look into very seriously for the sake of our environment. Our future is at hand, and we must, it's not too late to do it now. And if we do it 10 years down the line, for example, environmental protection and etc., it will be a lot more costly. So please, if you have not done anything seriously, go back, think about it. If you need more funding, I think that's your right to request.
He said this in his speech read by the Sarawak Deputy Minister of Public Health, Housing and Local Government, Dato' Dr. Pengguang Manggil, in conjunction with the Councillors Seminar 2023 closing ceremony at a hotel on Monday. Also present at the ceremony were Deputy Minister for the Public Health, Housing and Local Government, Michael Tiang, and the Ministry's Permanent Secretary, Elizabeth Loh. A total of 768 have been appointed as councillors for 24 local councils in Sarawak. Out of 768 councillors appointed recently, 50% are new councillors.
The federal government has announced plans to introduce Mara liner bus services in Sarawak and Sabah, aiming to improve connectivity for rural communities. Deputy Prime Minister Dato' Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi stated that the bus service spanning the entire Pan-Borneo Highway through Brunei will be a game changer for both Borneo regions.
Dato' Rubiah Currently, discussions are underway to fine-tune the operational has been identified, which is in Kampung Sembilang Beradi, Kota Semarang. Ahmad Zahid told this to reporters during the press conference at a coordination meeting on rural and state development projects in Sarawak on Monday. Earlier today, he had paid a courtesy call to the Premier of Sarawak, Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg, at his office in Wisma Bapa Malaysia, Kuching.
Untuk kepentingan sosial masyarakat keseluruhannya. Tapi kita mulakan di Sarawak dulu. Ya, dan kita akan mulakan mengikut penjelasan tadi pada bulan ini jugalah. Sebagai pilot project dahulu. Ya.
Zahid, who is also the Minister of Rural and Regional Development, emphasized the bus service will not be profit-driven, but rather supported by revenue from bus operations. Additionally, his deputy, Dato' Rubiah Wang, said that the implementation site for the pilot project has been identified, which is in Kampung Sembilang Beradi, Kota Semarang. Ahmad Zahid told this to reporters during the press conference at a coordination meeting on rural and state development projects in Sarawak on Monday. Earlier today, he had paid a courtesy call to the Premier of Sarawak, Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg, at his office in Wisma Bapa Malaysia, Kuching.
Tourism, Arts and Culture Minister Datuk Sri Tiong King Sing was notably absent from his scheduled appearance at Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC on Monday, following his claims of corruption culture within the Immigration Department personnel at the Kuala Lumpur International Airport. On Sunday, MACC Chief Commissioner Tan Sri Azam Baki said that the Commission will meet with Tiong and the Chinese national to question them over the matter. He added MACC is gathering all the relevant information in regards to the corrupt practices to clear its name. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi believed that the matter can be resolved amicably and that he had queried the minister involved in the incident. He will also meet with Home Minister in charge of immigration, Datuk Sri Saifuddin Nasution Ismail, to discuss the matter. The minister in question, Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture, Datuk Sri Tiong King Sing, is also set to explain himself in the next cabinet meeting on Wednesday.
Telah mengadakan perbincangan dengan beliau sendiri mengenai perkara itu dan saya akan melakukan beberapa perbincangan juga dengan Menteri Dalam Negeri di mana Jabatan Immigration itu adalah di bawah beliau dan permasalahan yang begini saya fikir boleh diselesaikan dengan cara yang baik melalui sistem pentadbiran yang ada dan hari Rabu nanti kita akan bawa perkara ini ke kabinet ya, dan sudah pasti beliau akan menjelaskan duduk perkara ini di dalam mesyuarat kabinet nanti ya.
On Thursday, an online portal reported that a minister barged into Kuala Lumpur International Airport Terminal 1 arrival area in an attempt to help a Chinese national bar entry into the country at the request of a Consulate General of Malaysia in Guangzhou.
Over the weekends, multiple complaints were lodged regarding a sex doll being sold on a famous online shopping platform that can be the figure of a child. This has caught the attention of Minister of Youth and Sports, Hannah Yeoh, who urged authorities to conduct investigations on both the sellers and buyers in order to protect the vulnerable group from being sexualized.
Sex toy seperti ini, saya rasa polis kena pergi tengok siapa yang telah membeli sex toy dan seller, bukan saja seller tetapi buyer ini saya rasa ada masalah di mana mereka perlu menjalani counselling. Yang itu sangat penting lah. This is not a normal behaviour.
Through the complaints, the seller was identified to be based in Selangor. Shopee has recently responded to the matter by blocking several accounts identified to be selling such products, while urging customers to continue filing complaints if products of such nature are found on its platform. The company stated selling such product violates the law, where both the seller and the buyer can be punished under Section 292(a) of the Penal Code. As such, Hannah lauded the swift action of Malaysians in trying to resolve the issue.
So I want to thank the awareness, I think, in Malaysia now, where there are a lot of activists who are on the lookout for greater protection for our younger generation lah. So ini bukan saja kanak-kanak tetapi belia jugalah.
The sales and purchase of childlike sex dolls have emerged as a deeply concerning issue, demanding immediate and serious investigation if left unaddressed. This matter has the potential to cause distress within the society. Crime analyst Kamal Afandi Hashim has expressed profound concern over the issue, emphasizing the danger of individuals with such fantasies eventually seeking out real human targets and contributing to incidents of pedophilia.
Saya turut gusar dengan penjualan ini kerana menandakan ada kalangan kita yang mempunyai fantasi Dalam keadaan normal, itu adalah suatu yang lazim. Tetapi dalam bidang saya, kita khawatir jika fantasi sedemikian, kemudiannya tidak dapat lagi memuaskan hati pelaku itu dan seterusnya dia bertindak mencari sasaran manusia sebenar. Nah, ini akan menyebabkan keadaan di mana kita panggil pedofilia, kecenderungan untuk melakukan seksual dengan mereka yang di bawah umur, kanak-kanak akan berlambak pula despite the effort being taken, misalnya dalam kerajaan Sarawak, menerusi Exco Wanita dan juga dalam kerajaan persekutuan namanya.
He further suggested that establishing addiction intervention centres in the community could be one of the measures to curb such incidents.
Saya melihat perkara ini secara objektif juga, di mana kita perlu untuk memikirkan penubuhan pusat ketagihan. Jadi kalau kita ada pusat sedemikian, maka perkara ini dapat kita urus tadbir dan tata kelola dengan lebih baik.
Additionally, he urged the public to play their respective roles and remain vigilant in the surroundings to prevent such incidents from occurring. If decisive action is not taken promptly, the consequences could be detrimental to all parties involved.
Coming up right after the break, mass shooting leaves 2 dead, 28 injured in Baltimore, and a robot conductor took the stage in Korea. Right here on TVS Nightline, stay tuned. Welcome back. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said his surprise visit to the Kuala Lumpur International Airport on Sunday was aimed at raising the credibility and integrity of the Immigration Department, which is currently under public scrutiny. Anwar said despite only a handful of the immigration officers spoil the reputation, majority of the personnel perform their duties well.
Selalu kita sebut inilah titik rosak sebelanga. Saya pergi untuk beri jaminan bahawa sebenarnya tidak wajar kita memberi gambaran persepsi secara umum bahawa ada kerusakan dalam immigration.
Anwar said his visit aims to improve and not to find fault or criticize. He found the management and operation of the Customs Department and the Immigration Department are under control and stated that appropriate action would be taken to improve the situation and resolve any issues. Noting that only one of the 7 luggage scanners operated by the Customs Department at KLIA was in operation and wanted the situation rectified immediately. As such, the Prime Minister emphasized the need for the top officers to go down and see the department's operation for themselves and not to make assumptions that everything was operating well.
In the meantime, Home Minister Datuk Seri Saifuddin Nasution Ismail described the act of a People's Volunteer Corps Rela personnel after he was accused of attempting to prevent a visitor from entering a building in Penang was described as an isolated case. He said the issue should not be blown out of proportion and Rela would use their internal mechanism to improve matters.
Saya tak memilih untuk exaggerate, berlaku adil kepada ribuan lagi anggota rela yang bertugas mengawal premis kerajaan, tak ada masalah. Saya tahu kita ada mekanisme dalaman yang akan ditentukan oleh kepimpinan rela. Okay?
On June 30th, the media reported that the Social Security Organization, SOCSO, has suspended the duties of a rela member after he was accused of attempting to prevent a visitor from entering its office in Penang. Pekeso's Communication and Corporate Affairs Department said this was done because the actions of the personnel was not in line with the principles of the department.
3 non-governmental organizations, NGOs, have filed a legal challenge of the Health Ministry's decision to remove nicotine from the list of controlled substances under the Poisons Act 1952. The advocacy group are alleging that the minister has acted illegally, irrationally, and with procedural impropriety.
The Malaysian Council for Tobacco Control, Malaysian Green Lung Association, and Voice of the Children Sendirian Berhad filed the leave for judicial review application through Kasanalingam and Company at the High Court on June 30th. They named the Health Minister and the government as the first and second respondents, respectively. According to the groups, the minister's actions have not only been disproportionate, but have also failed to prioritize public health, a duty that the minister is obligated to uphold. Instead, the groups claim that revenue collection has taken precedence over the well-being of the public. They claim that the ministry's decision would allow electronic cigarettes and vape products with nicotine to be sold openly and legally to anyone, including children and adolescents aged below 18, without any form of regulation or control, as there is currently no regulation or legislation regulating electronic cigarettes and vape products with nicotine. The groups further contend that the minister's exercise of power under Section 6 of the Poisons Act is unconstitutional and exceeds the legislative power granted to the Parliament by Article 66 of the Federal Constitution. They raise concerns about the legality and validity of the minister's decision-making process. The applicants are seeking a certiorari order to quash the amendment on the law provision made on March 31st.
The Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation is offering free tickets to the National Science Centre PSN in Kuala Lumpur and Alor Setar, as well as the National Planetarium. Minister Chang Lih Kang said the move was in line with the Ministries of Education MOE initiative to encourage schools to organize educational visits as part of the efforts to strengthen the teaching and learning process.
He added further that exhibition in collaboration with external strategic partners are not included in the free ticket offer. On June 16th, MOE issued a circular on the guidelines for educational visits involving government school students. The circular also encouraged schools to organize educational visits that students can gain benefits from such and increasing their knowledge, and suggested private educational institutions registered with the MOE to also use the guidelines.
The number of mass shootings in United States have not dwindled, though countermeasures were made in terms of policies by President Joe Biden. Most recently, 2 people were shot dead, an 18-year-old woman and a 20-year-old man, while 28 others were injured and are currently under medical care. Acting Baltimore Police Commissioner Richard Worley disclosed that the current tally of victims from the shooting are 30 people with age ranging from 13 to 32 years old.
We're here today to provide an update on a mass shooting that occurred earlier this morning. Just after 12:30 a.m., we received calls for a shooting. We've located 10 victims on scene. 1 victim, adult female, was pronounced deceased on the scene. 9 additional victims were transported from the scene to local hospitals. Shortly after, 20 additional victims walked into local and regional hospitals with various injuries.
Police are currently on a manhunt for multiple suspects, and witnesses with information or video footages are urged to come forward to facilitate the investigation. Mayor of Baltimore, Brandon Scott, said the owning a gun illegally is still very accessible in the country. However, authorities are constantly on the lookout to remedy the matter.
This year alone, the Baltimore Police Department has seized 1,345 illegal guns that were in the hands of people that should not have them, that had them anyway because they're so easy for them to obtain.
The Baltimore shooting occurred shortly after midnight at the Brooklyn Day block party in the Brooklyn neighborhood of Baltimore. Witnesses told a local media outlet that they had heard about 20 to 30 shots fired.
France has been inundated with unrest that has spread as far as Belgium following a shooting of a 17-year-old teenager, Nahel M., by a police officer. In Nanterre, flowers and placards were placed on the crime scene where Nahel was shot, but a possibility of another protest breaking out is not ruled out, as police officers were deployed along the road. On the other hand, those who did not participate in the protests are happy that it is much calmer for now, but they were left devastated with their properties destroyed.
Very glad it is calming down, and at the same time, I'm not very happy about everything we have been through, because there are people, we don't know how they managed to get their car, their store, set up their store, maybe also took loans for what they had, and then all it takes is one night of trouble and they've lost everything. It is not their fault, everything that happened.
During the unrest, various shops were looted, vehicles were stolen and burned, while many buildings that houses both permanent residents and visitors in France were burned, rendering some with no place to go. An Olympic swimming pool under construction was also set on fire during the incident. The killing of Nahel has revived long-standing questions about the state of the French police and the inability of consecutive governments to reform an institution bound by powerful unions.
See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates both locally and internationally. For more headlines, anytime, anywhere, just head on to our official website at tvstv.my or follow us on our social media platforms. And those were the news for tonight. I'm Lorenzo Isaac. Thank you for watching.